I'm going to share with you a trick that I learned from one of the couturier stitchers, premier stitchers at Nina Ricci, which is how to hem a circle skirt using machine, or at least creating the thread so you can roll it and hand stitch it. So I'll show you both ways. So the first thing that you want to do is on your skirt hem, just allow 1/2 inch for your hem allowance. That's all you need, nothing more. Okay, then basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that 1/2 inch and we're going to turn it up and we're going to stitch it right along that 1/2 inch edge. So as you can see here, this is my 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I've stitched right exactly along the edge. So the reason for the 1/2 inch is that you're able to have some fabric to help stabilize this stitching a little bit. Obviously, if you turned it under and stitched it right at the edge, if you had cut the fabric, you have less of a chance of getting this nice, smooth, even. Your fabric may end up inside the machine. A lot of things can happen. So this gives you something to really hang on to. And actually, that is the purpose of this first thread, is to give you something to hang on to. So what you're going to do next is to go in now with, once again, you really need to get yourself a pair of really good embroidery scissors, and I'm going to trim my seam allowance right next to that stitching. I've done this sample on a curve so you can see how beautifully it's going to ripple a little bit, but that's fine because it's about to get cut off. Be very careful that you don't cut through to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around to the other side, cutting it as close as I can to the stitching. So now you can see I've trimmed back right to my stitching. I've got about 1/8 of an inch there that's left. So now all I really simply need to do, and also too, some advice is to leave these threads. They're good to hold on to. Especially this next, you can use them almost to turn it. So you're going to turn that little 1/8 of an inch over, and now I'm going to stitch it again. And I'm going to stitch it right on top of my first stitching, or I can hand sew it. So now I've machine stitched it, I've turned it under. It gives me beautiful control around the curves. This little reaming here can be really easily pressed out. And on the other side, the right side of the garment, I just have this one stitch that hopefully you go nice and straight along here. I have a few ripples that I missed. So take your time, go slowly, and obviously you'll have matching thread. So it won't show too much, and you've got yourself a beautiful hem. So let me show you what to do for the hand sewing. So with the hand sewing, because the trick is to get it to start to roll. So what you want to do is, see if I can get in a tiny bit closer, is to take your needle wherever you're starting, and I'm on the wrong side of the garment right now. I'm going to go right in through the stitching and out to the end, coming out right at the fold of the hem. So I'm burying my knot, and then I'm simply going to turn this over. And so the thread that you created on your first turn is really giving you a nice stable way a nice stable thread for you to be able to use when you put the hem, whether it's by machine or by hand. And again, on this, anytime that you're doing a hem like this, it is small thread, so yes, it does take a while, but if you take your time and do it right, it's a beautiful, beautiful hem. You don't have a lot of fabric in there. It's not going to interrupt that beautiful flow that you've draped in. So you took the time to drape in those beautiful folds with your circle skirt, so this is going to help to preserve that. I do not recommend this on a straight hem at all, because it doesn't give you when you have a straight hem or a columned garment, so it's just a straight skirt that's long, you need that hem to weight the fabric down. You're not looking for flow, you're looking for structure. So in that structure, I'm trying to sew and talk here. In that structure, you want to have some weight to really hold that tailoring into place. So there's just a few stitches you can see. I'm just hand turning it as I go, keeping it relatively small. And then, of course, on the other side, once I press it, I won't see anything. It'll be nice. So that's a hand rolled hem. So this is your hand rolled version, and this is your machine stitched rolled hem. So these are rolled hems, machine stitched, rolled hem, hand stitched. Okay? So good luck with you hemming your projects. This is going to make it much easier and faster.